Hi everyone, welcome to our webinar dedicated to the latest addition to the ever-growing K-Array software suite, the K-Control and the K-Cloud. Welcome everyone, thank you so much for being here. My name is Daniele. I'm responsible for education and customer support at K-Array. And with me today, I have the pleasure to have our software product manager, Matteo Barbaro. Ciao, Matteo.
Hi, thanks to be here.
Ciao, Matteo. And Matteo and I, together, in this webinar, we will share with you everything you need to know about the K-Control and the K-Cloud. The K-Control is an app available for Android and iOS dedicated to the end user. It's an app that allows you to control your installation. You can manage the volume of each zone of your installation. You can manage your sound sources. You can save and recall scenes. And you can even control third-party devices which are part of your installation. We will explain all this and we will teach you how you can create dashboards for the K-Control for specific installations, custom-made for a specific user, adding all the faders, the buttons, all the functions that are necessary to control that specific installation. All this in a matter of a few clicks. In fact, you will see that you don't need to be a programmer to create a nice-looking dashboard for the K-Control app for one of your clients. And then we have the K-Cloud, a unique software solution that allows you to manage K-Array devices from remote. It means that when you are on site, you can register K-Array device on the cloud, and then from wherever you are in the world, you can access those devices. Not only you can monitor the K-Array amplifiers to see if there are any alarms, alerts, but you can also perform actions on the amplifiers from remote, like recalling a device preset for your client, changing some routing options, and much more. So stay tuned till the end of this webinar because it will be packed with all the information which are necessary to start enjoying these new tools that we have added to our software suite, K-Control and K. And before we enter into the details of the K-Control and the K-Cloud, the first thing I want to tell you is that in order to enjoy these tools, first thing you have to do is to have an account on the K-Array website with the installer privileges. So if you don't have an account on our website, all you have to do is to go to www.karray.com. You click on the profile icon, and you can sign up and enter all your data. But if you want to use the K-Cloud and the K-Control, you need to request an installer account. Okay, so in order to access the cloud service and in order to be able to create dashboards for the K-Control for your clients, you need to be an official K-Array installer. All you have to do is to request an installer account. We will receive the request. It will take a bit of time for us to process the request and approve it. Once it's approved, you can enjoy forever those services. If you have already an account on our website, let me show I have a test account that I've created for this webinar to show you. So let's assume you already registered on our website a long time ago. You log in with your account, you go to your profile, and you click Request an Installer Account. Again, you have, please be patient because we manually process this request at the moment. Once we approve it, you are good to go and you can log in for example, to our cloud service, which is exactly what I'm going to do now with my installer account that I have already activated this way. Okay, so step number 1, have an installer account on the KRA website. Step number 2, we can start entering into the K-Cloud. I want to discuss the K-Cloud tool first, and then we will move to the K-Control. So, of course, on the KRA website, we will have a link to go directly to the cloud website. Anyway, it's cloud.kra.com. As easy as that. It's such a new, this is the first time we present this tool officially, and so we will also add in the next days the link directly on our website. Anyway, cloud.kra.com, and you can enter with your installer account. Remember to request that. Let me do it. I have this test account for the webinar. Oh, kra.com. I'll type my password. And I can enter into the cloud service. My mistake. Log out. Let's go. Installer at kra.com. And I'm in. So when you open the cloud, what you see is a map of the world where you can see all the installations that you have created, where you have registered amplifiers on the cloud. So right now in this test account, I'm assuming that I have installed some amplifiers in London. You see there is this pin in London and several amplifiers in several installations in Italy. So if we zoom in, I can see that, for example, here is my house in Florence. And here is my home where it's an installation I've created. If I click view, I can enter inside my house and see which amplifiers I have registered on the cloud, which are in my home. And if I click view, I'm in the amplifier and I can perform actions on it. Okay, we will explain all this step by step, but this is just to give you an overview of how easy it is to control, manage all the KRA devices that you have installed around the world from remote. Okay, of course, the first time you log in, you haven't created any installations, so this map will be empty. So let's create a new installation. But it's time to use the right terms, because in our cloud platform, what I call installations are called plants. What is a plant? A plant is an installation in a specific location. For example, you see, I have a museum in Florence, a restaurant where I've installed some amplifiers in another area. So let's call them plants. We go to plants, and here we can create a new plant, because again, the first time you log in, this list will be empty because you haven't created any plants. Let's create a new plant. Let's give it a name. Let's assume that you are in Milan and you are installing some speakers in a museum. So I will call it museum in Milano. Just an example, okay? I'm assuming I'm going to Milano to install some KRA devices. You can type the address of the place if you know it, or you can even, by unlocking the map, you see there is this lock unlock, you can navigate to the place where your museum is. In this case, I will go to Milano, Okay, let's assume that this museum is more or less here, somewhere. Okay, and I will add the description. Now, just an example, installation at the Beauty Museum in Milano. Save. Now, I have created a new plant. Okay, I've created a new plant. If, where is it, museum in Milano, I can click on this icon, the pen icon, to edit the plant. So I go back here, and of course, now it's time to associate, to link to this plant the K-array devices, which are part of this installation. And you do that going to devices. But of course, right now, on my account, I don't have any of those K-array devices registered. So there is a very important step now to perform, which is registering the K-array devices on the cloud on your account. Then we will be able to link them to a specific plant. Okay? That's the only step that you need to perform on site. When you are on site, you need to connect your computer, your tablet, to the same network, local network, where all your K-array devices are. And obvious thing, this network has to have internet access. Otherwise, there is no way that you can register a device on the cloud. There is no way that you can control them from a remote. That should be obvious. So the cloud service works for all those K-array devices, which are part of networks that have internet access. Very good. So now let's assume I'm in Milano with my computer, and I'm connected to the network where all the K-array devices are connected to. And this is an example, okay? What you have to do is to open the web application of the K-array device that you want to register on the cloud. I'm not going to explain now how to do that. I assume you are already a K-array installer, familiar with our solutions. Anyway, just by typing the IP address of the amplifier that I want to register, of course, you know that you can enter inside its web app. This is an amplifier, a KA18, that let's assume is in this museum in Milan. Make sure that the amplifier is updated to version 1.9.3 or higher. At the moment of recording this webinar, that's the latest version. And that's the first version that has the K-array cloud service active, okay? Otherwise, all you have to do, as you know, is to update the amplifier to the latest version. So let's go to K-array cloud, of course, okay? So I'm inside the AMP, I click K-array cloud, and I log in with my installer account that I have created before. Is the same account that I've used to log in to the K-Cloud service, right? So in this test account is daniele.mochi.installer, karray.com, password, login. And now I can see, first of all, I can see a list of all the K-array devices which I have already associated to my account. All I have to do is to register this device on my account. You click register this device, done. You don't have to do anything else on site. Again, the network has to have internet access. You register the device on your profile, and after a few seconds, your device will pop up in the device tab of the cloud. Done. You see, these are the two devices which I have already registered on my account. Now I'm not going to click because I don't want to register this specific amplifier in our company to my account, but you click register, it goes here, it goes here. And now it's a device that it's yours to control. It's available in the list of the registered devices. All you have to do now is to go to the plant that you want that amplifier to be part of, which is our museum in Milano. Devices, link. Okay, now it's time to link that device to this plant. You click link, you see all the available devices registered on your account which are not already associated, linked to a specific plant. So, for example, this K802 that I have registered on my account and not linked to any plant, I click the link icon. Here we go. Now, done. I click done. You see, now this device belongs to that plant. Once I've done that, I can go in the dashboard where you can see, I can see all my plants, all the installation I've done around the world. I go into the museum in Milano, which I've created. I click view. Here we go. I can see the amplifier which I have registered on my account and linked to this specific plant. And if I click, I can already see if there are any alarms and other data, as long as the amplifier is connected to the internet and powered on, okay? Otherwise, it will be unreachable. You click view, and now you can explore the status of the amplifier. You can perform actions on the amplifier from your office, from wherever you are in the world, as long as the amplifier has been linked to the plant and registered on your account. Okay, I will recap these steps and then I will let Matteo Barbaro to show you what you can do from remote on an amplifier. He will show you an example of plant where there are several amplifiers and what you can do from remote on an amplifier. Just to recap what we have done. We are on site in Milano. We connect our computer to the network where our KARRAY devices are in. We go to the KARRAY Cloud in the web app of that amplifier. Of course, you need to repeat this step for all the KARRAY devices that you want to register on the cloud. So you enter in the device web app, you click KARRAY Cloud, you log in with your account credentials, and you click register this device on your account. Then you go on cloud.karray.com, you log in with the same credentials. The device pops up here. You go to the plant that you want that device to belong to. For example, Museum Milano, you click the pen to edit. You go to devices, link. Now I don't have any other devices to add, right? But it was here. You link, done, and the amplifier is associated, linked, and from now on, you can control it from remote. So hopefully, you see it's just a few steps, very easy. And now I'll let Matteo to continue by showing you what you can do when you have access to an amplifier from remote. Matteo, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Daniele. Thanks to well explained so far. So here we are. This is a standard plant. Actually, is my office with the 5 KARRAY devices linked with this plant. And starting with the first tab, with the first view, we have several information like the linked number of amplifier for this plant, the number of amplifiers or active speakers like the KS3 reachable, if any of them has issues, so the alarmed icon will show if there are issues, or the orange tab that provide you information if the amplifiers are reachable or not. An amplifier is unreachable if it's not able to reach internet or if it is powered off. So starting with a KS3, for instance, we have some information like the serial number, the model of the device, the host name that you know. If you know our devices, you can change the name for each amplifier or powered speaker as you want. Here in the network, we can see, we cannot interact here. We can see the network information for our device. Then moving on the configuration tab, we have several options, like the possibility to save a device preset or to recall a device preset on our device remotely. The timing for the report from the device to the cloud. So we can choose to have several, so a very close time for logging and so on. And we can also lock the local web app of the device. It means that the customer will not be able to enter the amplifier and to perform actions if you lock the web app remotely. So let me rearrange my screen to show you the next. We have a very useful tool here that are these dots, these gray dots here, that actually show you if there is signal coming into the amplifier. So let's see. As you can see, the inputs 3 and 4 are green now, and also the 4 outputs. It means that there is signal coming into the amplifier. This is a useful information for us because we can sort if there are issues before of our amplifier and if there is actually signal that is feeding the amplifier. From the audio tab, we can manage this section. So, for instance, I want to change this with another. Okay. As you can see, in less than a second, I'm able to change the factory preset remotely if there was a mistake on the initial installation or setup of the system. Then we can manage the routing. Why those operations are not in real time? Because if you perform adjustment remotely, probably it's better to double check what you're doing before launching a variation. And then we can also adjust volumes and levels for our device here, as you can see. In the status tab, you have general information regarding channels in protection or high temperature of the channels. So this is more related with the hardware issues. And then you can also perform remotely a reboot of the amp for any reason, or you can launch and download an update remotely for your device. This is what we can do now. Everything you see will be improved with your feedback. Remember, this is the first launch of our K-Array Cloud, so many other things will be added in the future. And I think that we can continue with Daniele now.
Thank you, Matteo. And yes, absolutely, more functions will be added, but yeah, already being able to perform all those actions from remote. Again, some people thought in the beginning that the K-Cloud could only allow to monitor the status of the amplifier to see from remote if there are any alarms, etc. No, you can even perform actions on behalf of your client from remote without having to go on site. So it's a very, very powerful tool. I think we have covered all the necessary steps to start enjoying the K-Cloud. Let's move to the K-Control. I will share my screen. Here we go. Fantastic. So kcontrol.karray.com. You can reach the K-Control configurator already from our website. So if you go to K-Array products software, there are all our software. The K-Cloud is in the process of being added. And of course, there is the K-Control and enter configurator. In fact, let me a bit recap because somebody joined late. So the K-Control is an app dedicated to the end user. So the end user can download the K-Control app on his or her phone or tablet, and the client will find a dashboard, an interface, a layout to control the installation that the system integrator, the installer, has created thanks to this configurator. Okay, so whoever is responsible for the setup of the installation, which is the installer, is somebody who has registered on our website with the installer credentials, same as the cloud, and that can access the configurator to create dashboards custom-made for the client. We will explain, once you have created the dashboard, how to link that to a specific client so that when the client logins with his credential or her credential to the mobile app, the magic happens. So he or she will find that dashboard available because the installer has associated that dashboard to that client. Okay. What I'm going to explain now is how you, as a system integrator, can create custom dashboards for your clients. And that's where you have to go to kcontrol.karray.com and log in with your installer account, same that you have used to access the cloud. So in this case is my installer account. And let's type password. And login. Again, this is the configurator, is the tool, is the online tool to create dashboards for the K-Control app. When you enter in the K-Control, you can see all the dashboards that you have already created. So all the layouts that you have created for specific installations, but of course, the first time you enter, this will be empty because you need to create a new installation. So you click installation. Now, let me explain. As you can see, again, we need to use the right terms. So we call them plants, okay? So a plant is a specific installation of yours in a specific location that you want to build a K-Control interface for. Now, as you can see, the K-Control and the K-Cloud services are linked together. So if you have already created a plant in your K-Cloud account, and now you want to create a K-Control dashboard for that plant, you can immediately select it here. But that's not mandatory because, for example, you may want to use the K-Control, but you are not a K-Cloud user. Okay, so don't worry. If you haven't created in the cloud already a plant, you can create a new one, which is what I'm going to do now, the easiest thing. So let's assume that now I'm no more in Milano, but I'm in Bari, and I want to create a dashboard for an installation in a school. School in Bari. Create new cloud plant. Now, next question. Okay, you want to create a layout for controlling the audio in this school. Good. Who is the client? What is the email address of the client that you want to be able to use that interface? Maybe you don't know yet. So let's skip this for now. We will do it later. Next, don't worry, it's not mandatory. And then, if you want, you can type here the address of the place to keep everything in order. So maybe let's assume now that is in via XXX 1 in Bari, Italy. You can even let default, it's not mandatory to fill it. Anyway, let's do it the nice way. Description, controlling the audio in the school in Bari. What a nice description. Anyway, create installation. Easy, you see? You just have created a new installation school in Bari. Now it's time to add a dashboard for the inside the app. Okay, so you click dashboard. And what is a dashboard? A dashboard is a page of the K-Control app because maybe you have more zones that you want to control. Maybe you have the entrance of the school, maybe you have the conference room of the school and the auditorium. These can be 3 different dashboards so that, as Matteo will show you, in the K-Control app, the user can just change from one room to another, and each room has the specific controls to control that room. Okay, so let's assume that this is the entrance of the school. You can add a background image. Now I'll put this one, which looks like the entrance of a pretty nice school. And I can write the description, entrance. Okay, edit. Here we go. That's the configurator for that specific page of the Kcontrol app. Here, all you have to do, Matteo will show you in detail, but I want just to tell you how easy is that. All you have to do here is you go to KArray components here on the left, and you can add faders, buttons to perform specific actions on the KArray devices, which are part of the network where your client will have access to. Okay? This is also a good moment to remind everyone that the Kcontrol app works also on local networks which do not have internet access. Because when you download the Kcontrol app on your phone, you connect your phone to the Wi-Fi of the school. I assume that the KArray devices are all connected to that network. Even if that network has no internet access, it's not a problem because the Kcontrol is just sending API commands over network to trigger actions on the amplifiers locally. Okay, that's very different from the Kcloud, where if in that school you are the installer, you install the KArray amplifiers, and you want also to be able to manage them from remote, in that case, that network has to have internet access for the cloud service. For the Kcontrol, that's not necessary. So, for example, you can use the Kcontrol on a yacht in the middle of the ocean, no problem, because you have your local network, maybe with no internet access, no problem. Okay, so let's assume that you want to control the volume of the music in the entrance, and so you want to control the volume of the input one of a specific amplifier, which is streaming audio to the entrance. Okay, so you add the volume fader, you drag and drop it here. Here we go, volume, you see? That's the configurator. Let's put it here, for example. Matteo will show you that you can change dimensions, colors, and everything directly from the component editor. Okay, you can change the background color, a lot of things. But what matters most is that you associate this function, so volume, to a specific device. Because when you move the volume fader, you want to control, for example, input one of an amplifier with that IP address and that host name in the network. You see here on the right, services, these the functions that the volume that this fader can perform is volume, but I need to specify which device I want to control. And that's what you do. You go back to the main dashboard. You see here on the up right corner, there is add device. You need to add to these installations all the devices that you are planning to control. Okay? So in this school, probably I have an amplifier dedicated to the entrance, an amplifier dedicated to the auditorium, and 2 amplifiers dedicated to the big conference rooms. I need to add the model of each amplifier. So let's assume right now that I have a KA18 in my installation. And I need to write the host name and the IP address of that device. Where do you find them? You should know that in many places in our software suite. Anyway, the easiest thing is that in the web app of the amplifier, on the up right corner, you have the host name, for example, main offices for this amplifier, and the IP address. Okay, and so I'll write here the and the IP address, which, and again, this is just an example. So like this, okay, add. You see now on the left, you see all the devices that you have added to this installation, which have to have the IP address, the real IP addresses that they have in that specific network. And now if I go back in editing my entrance dashboard, I go to volume, and the configurator is asking me, you want to control the volume of who? I want to control the volume of the amplifier called main offices. And I want to control the input channel 1. Done. Now you go here on the up right corner, you see there is the icon of a phone. Click on there and you can see a preview of how your of what the client is going to find on his or her phone where they log in. And you see the background image and the fader. Now, if you are with the phone connected to that specific installation, when you move this fader, you are changing the volume of input 1 of that main office's K-array amplifier. Done. And of course, you can resize this, change color, position it in other areas, and add all the other components, buttons, etc., that Matteo will show you. Okay, but that's extremely easy. Before letting Matteo show you all the available components, what kind of actions the K-control can perform, because of course the volumes is just one example. Let's assume that now our dashboard is done. We only need to control the volume. Let's assume we are happy with this. There is one last step that we need to add, which is, of course, going back to the main page. If you go on the top right, on your profile icon on the top right corner, you can see the Add Friendship button. What is this? Who are our friends? Your friends are your clients. Here is where you click Add Friendship. You can type your client email in order to link this dashboard to that client, so that when your client downloads the K-control app on his or her phone and logins with this email, he will find that dashboard available with the volume and the nice image we have put, and everything is working. Okay, so the last step is to add a friendship. Your client has to be registered on the K-array website, so this email must be part of our list of contacts on our website. So your client has to sign up without, of course, the installer account. It's just a client, so it probably doesn't have an installer account. It's not necessary. Of course, I think most of the time it will be you, the installer, creating an account for your client on our website, maybe called school@gmail.com or whatever, and you give the client the password you have created and the account and the email, and you just tell them, open the tablet, download the K-control, enter with these credentials. You will find exactly this. Here we go. That's what the client is going to find, because they are logging in with an account that you, as an installer, have linked to this specific configuration. Okay, these are the few steps that you need to know to create a custom dashboard for your client for a specific installation. Matteo will tell you more than this and show you which kind of functions are available, but in a nutshell, that's all you need to know to start creating dashboards. Matteo, I'm going to give you again the screen.
Okay, thank you, Daniele. So, share. We can start from our real installation that is again my office, where you can see I have a lot of dashboards to manage. Regarding this page, Daniele said almost everything. Remember that the customer will see just the dashboard name and the image from here. So you can put any kind of description, and the description for each dashboard is just for your reference. For instance, I could say 2KD25 with KU to 10. Okay, but this information is just for you. Okay, so we can start with a new one. So. Let's see Studio, and I want to add okay. Okay. So it's useful to work having the dashboard preview in order to fill properly the space and to build a nice dashboard for the customer. You can also simulate and check how the dashboard will look like in a portrait or landscape mode. So KRA components are components pre-compiled by us with all the commands necessary to pilot, to drive, to manage our amplifier, our stuff. So starting with the mute button, for instance, we can change color, and this is for all the components here. We can change color, we can change name. So this is tops, okay, because I want to mute just the tops, and here you can add an icon. We are working also to give you the possibility to add custom icons, custom images to the components. Here, as you know, we have to select a host device, so the device that we want to control, for instance, this one. Okay. And the channel that we want to mute. So now, if I log in and if I open the dashboard studio, this component will mute the output channel 1 for the KA04 that I have here. But if I want to manage more than one channel, how can I do that? In two ways. One is adding another button and selecting another channel. In this way, I can mute or unmute the channel independently, or I could increase the algorithm of my component. So here you have this plus button that lets you add services to this component. For instance, if I want to mute I just have to select the service from the list, create mute, fast create. And here I can add my host name and the second channel. Now this component will be able to mute or unmute together these two channels. Let me remove this one that is unuseful. Okay, so for sure we need a volume control from our office, not only the mute or unmute button. Like the mute button, you need to add the host name, the device host name. Select the direction, because if you know the structure of our amps, you have inputs and outputs levels, and in the 4-channel amplifier, you also have another level of management for the volumes called impedance. So here you can select the direction and the channel that you want to manage. So now we can perform the same operation. So we could improve the algorithm to manage also the output channel 2. So I will select the host name, the channel, and the direction. And now this component is able to manage these two channels. You can also change the name, tops, and very useful for you to avoid that your customer makes some kind of mistakes or whatever. You can select the adjustment range for this component. So in this way, your customer can increase the volume at maximum for 3 dBs and decrease the overall volumes for -8. Okay. But we have also a subwoofer to manage. That probably is attached on the same amplifier or not. After we'll see something very interesting, in my opinion. And probably our sub is here. Output direction. I call it sub. We can change a little the excursion. So now I can manage my tops and my sub independently. And if I want to manage both together, we can create a linked component. How it works? Just select the 2 components with the Ctrl button and click on the component. Then you can, as you can see, you have selected 2 homogeneous components. So you can link these components. Now we have a master volume. We can call it master or main. And we have our separated volumes for tops and subs. You can change shape, color, size for all the components. For sure, it's useful for us also to select the sources on our amplifier. So we have this component, the source component, that works for you. So here you have to add the host name, KA04. And after that, I will explain better how it works. If you remember, we have released many versions of Oscar Ego, the possibility to build, to create routing presets on our amplifier. So the source component is able to get these routing presets, and it will show you these presets as buttons on the interface. So what else? You can add the standby component that is useful to power off our amplifier, but what I want to clarify is that you can control not only one amplifier or multiple channels from the same amplifier with a component. You can potentially add, for instance, if we're talking about the standby button, if you want to power off all the amplifiers on your installation, you can just increase the algorithm and select another amplifier. Or if you want to manage different channels from different amplifiers together, is something that you can do. Okay, the only component that it doesn't work properly if you try to manage multiple hosts together is the source component, and actually are also no, the source component is the only one that could cause troubles to you. Okay, and so we have also everything to, for instance, to create a media player on our dashboard, or to manage our internal player status from a USB, radio, Bluetooth mode, Dante, and so on. These are all KRA pre-compiled components that lets you build in a few minutes very nice dashboard, very customizable dashboard for your customer. Talking about custom, if you are skilled, and if you have all the data requested from other manufacturers, you could build your own component. As you can see here, this component has no services. You can create a new service to manage third-party devices that works with these services, so REST API, OSC, WebSocket, and so on. If you make a custom component, because you are logged in your account, the component will be saved and you will find the custom component you create here in the custom components list. Let me jump on another dashboard, this one. And I want to show you this dashboard in the real world. So this is my phone here. So remote dashboard. This is my phone. Okay. So if I take this one, I can, as you can see, I can adjust the volume. So how it works. When your customer log in, he has to choose the installation from the installation list. Then the dashboards will be in the order that you choose here. So if I want the studio as second dashboard, I just have to reorder the dashboards in my configuration. The customer can select different dashboards, just clicking on the dashboard name, dashboards, and then I can select this one, Office. And let me do that. So from my dashboard, I can manage, for instance, the routing. As you see, the media optical jack analog 1 and 2 are routing presets actually that works almost in real time, as you can see here. So I can easily change my routing. So I can use it to select different sources or to change the behavior of my signal flow in the routing. And we can change the dashboard, the media player, I don't know, from web radio, Bluetooth, if you have the Bluetooth dongle, USB. And we can build a very nice media player. We can, of course, play music, stop music, move forward, and so on. We can adjust inputs or outputs level easily. And we can mute or mute our outputs. So you can perform all the operation that you want. If you are very skilled, you can build your own components, and if they are useful, please share those components with us, because probably we can't build everything for everybody. So another very useful thing that is provided to the customer, to the end user, is the possibility to create a scenario. A scenario is a snapshot of some of all or just of some dashboard that you can select to create different setups of the dashboard for different moment during the day. For instance, if I have a bar I could have a scenario called lounge, but I know that during the night they have a different setup for volumes and sources. Then I can change and create another scenario to be recalled very quickly from here. So now that I have created two scenarios, now I can select all dashboards or to recall specific scenario with specific setups for my dashboard and amplifier actually. And that's it. There are many other things that will come. I just want to show you something that will help you a lot in the future. That is this. That is one of the reasons why we would like that you work with adding devices, because if it works, I hope, yeah. From here, if you add a device, now you can select, you could select the model. Then our intention is to provide you with a pre-compiled dashboard. So as you can see here, if you select a model, then we will provide pre-compiled dashboards with, I don't know, stereo sources or splitted sources or many different kind of pre-compiled dashboards to speed up your deployment work. And moreover, and after that, I will pass the word to Daniele. We will provide the possibility to the integrator to share the dashboard with other installer registered on our website. So in this way, you can share dashboards with your colleague or with other installers that are your friends. Okay, so many other useful things will come, and I pass the word back to Daniele.